All right, everyone, there's a growing movement to crack down on campus free speech, and there's a facade over it. People are making a big deal about anti-Semitism mainly, and saying we need to tackle this issue, so we need to crack down on students' political and social expression. I disagree. I don't think that it matters what group is being targeted in that way. If a group of students, for instance, let's say I'm back in UVM, I'm sitting there at the Marche or something, dining al fresco, and a group of black nationalists, march through the street there. Some students, they formed a club, and they say, we hate white people, white people go away, or something like that. Hey, this nation belongs to us, or whatever chant they want to have. I'm just going to sit there and sip my tea and be confused. As long as they're not attacking me, I don't see the problem with what they're saying. This article, link in the description, archived of course, makes the point, well, the speech that's being tolerated towards Jews would never be tolerated towards blacks or gays. Yeah, point taken. I mean, I'm perfectly amenable to that. I do realize there is a very hypocritical double standard. What I think the standard should be is that it should be tolerable to verbally speak about those people in a critical manner. There shouldn't be such a thing as a protected group for the purposes of lawful free expression. Shouldn't exist. Jew or Gentile, who cares? Black, white, red, all over. It doesn't matter. Whatever you get dangling between your legs. Who you want to fuck and how you want to fuck them. Well, I don't sit there all day and worry about what other people are doing, and I don't really look askance at people for their race or anything like that. I don't care about their lifestyle choices, race, or anything like that, unless it affects me directly. Someone threatens me, it doesn't matter whether it's a white person or a black person, in other words. It doesn't make any difference to me. But I do believe you should be able to express such views, online or in real life, by the way. If you want to erect a soapbox at the corner of the university square at the park at UVM or something and shout obscenities, as long as you're not targeting specific individuals or threatening them in some way, I think it should be totally allowed. By the way, in such cases, what tends to happen? You get a bunch of people heckling them anyway, drowning out their free speech, ironically enough. This is pervasive on college campuses. The fact that a growing proportion of younger individuals, so university kids, high schoolers, whatever, don't support Israel, I don't see as any sort of a baleful situation. They're expressing their opinion. By the way, the youth tends to be more left-leaning. They tend to become more conservative as they grow older, for multiple reasons. Both the slow march towards progressivism, leaving them behind, J.K. Rowling style, as well as the youth simply, they have to pay taxes at some point, and they realize maybe this political party doesn't have it all right. Something like that. Maybe the Communist Party's not for me. They said eat the rich, and now I'm making six figures. I mean, that's not rich under Bidenomics. It would have been, 20 years ago. Maybe I need to switch my party affiliation. They might not welcome me anymore. I'm bourgeois now, or something like that. And it doesn't matter. Let them express themselves. If there's a threat, if a group like that, they go up to the Jewish Student Center and they start shouting through the windows or something, that would be criminal harassment. But if they're simply doing it out in the open, where any Jewish individual or supporter of Israel can simply turn around and walk the other way, totally in the open, there's multiple ways to get to the dining hall. If nothing's being obstructed, they're not being robbed of the ability to go to class or anything like that, it should be considered totally free expression. Colleges should not be able to punish students for that, especially the publicly funded ones. It's ethically wrong regardless. But in the sense that my taxpayer dollars are going to go to fund a university, and unfortunately they do have to do so, I think that people should be able to express themselves there. It should be effectively an open theater, a platform. What do college students do anyway? They get drunk and they ramble about weird shit regardless. They do drugs and all sorts of stuff like that, so I mean, this is pretty innocuous compared to some of the other shit that they get up to. I went to UVM. I've seen it all. And it was a fun time sometimes, let me tell you. Up until the time that I overdosed so I could no longer use all of the good weed that they had there. Overpriced. $20 a gram. Actually, it's probably $30 now. Yeah, I didn't have a cheap connection. It was difficult to get the brick weed that I was smoking in Florida. It was really easy to get hippie hydro. It's just it was massively overpriced. So one time, sorry state of Vermont, one time I may have traded a bottle of Ritalin for a couple of good slices of the real nice shit. And I thought it was an even trade. I smoked that blueberry kush for a while. Even got White Widow. Boy, that'll fucking knock you on your ass. Lemon haze is the best, though. But as far as free speech, no, the colleges should not be policing it in any way, unless it's, again, speech should be unlimited in all senses, unless you're in a private area, so you go into a business and you start ranting, of course they can tell you to leave, it's their fucking business, etc. Unless it's a mom and pop cake shop, then apparently they're not allowed to turn you away no matter what you ask them to do. You have to bake the dildo cake. That's fine. Or private dwelling, so it's on your property, in your house, or something like that. You are God there. It's, I believe strongly in an even more expansive castle doctrine. It shouldn't just be for the purposes of self-defense. Your land, your home, your business, your choice. But the university is publicly funded. You didn't go into a student's dorm room and invade their space that they're renting out effectively and start shouting about how you don't like bagels or something like that. You're doing it out in the open, in an area where if they feel offended, they can bypass you. Effectively, it's the equivalent of, if you're offended, turn it off. This used to be a big rallying cry in the 2000s and in the 90s. Fuck the FCC. Don't censor radio. If you don't like what you're hearing, change the dial. Press a button. It's as simple as that. Nobody is subjecting you to listening to anything that offends you in any way. If you want a hug box, you go into your hug box. Nobody's going into the Jewish Center to throw bacon around, in other words. People don't, generally speaking, people don't do that. They're simply shouting on the street corner. You can shout them down. You can have a counter rally. You can go the other direction. What's the problem? Who cares? They say, well, they're going to intimidate Jewish students. Okay. Well, I mean, that's their problem. Long and short, unfortunately, is what I would have to say. I don't have a problem with Jews. I'm not going to be joining the Palestine rally. I'm not Team Palestine or Team Israel. But they have a right to express themselves. And students that believe in Zionism have a right to wave Israeli flags, shout down Palestine, swear that the West Bank will be overrun, and say, fuck Gaza. It's not even in this continent. This is a foreign affair. So, I mean, intellectually speaking, college students like to dress in togas and do philosophy bullshit. Really cringe, but it's kind of fun. And stuff like that. Why can't they discuss the issue? They're not allowed to criticize Israel? Well, I mean, are you going to ban them from criticizing Palestine as well? Are you going to have a Hamas defense bill? Well, you know, Hamas was the legitimate governing authority of that area for that time, so you're not allowed to criticize them. You might offend somebody. An Islamic student might feel left out. I just don't get it, dude. Let the college kids speak. Yeah, some of what they say will be retarded, but they're college kids, and they still have that right. That's about all. Peace out.